crew, it's Joanne from XOXO Designs by Joanne, and today we're going to go over using the wet application method. The things you're going to need is your application fluid, which is just water and a drop of Dawn dish detergent. You're going to need your paper transfer tape because this requires paper, not plastic. Your squeegee, your pick, your straight razor blade, paper towels, the project you're going to use. And this I picked up at the dollar store, and it had a different design on the back of it. I didn't like the design and I wanted to put my own on it, but I love the frame. It's a plastic black frame, but it has no backing, so it's like a floating frame, which I really like. So what I did was I picked up at the dollar store some nail polish remover. I poured the nail polish remover and let it sit on the design. And then I took my straight blade and I scraped it right off and it came off. So, and I have a clean little frame that cost me $1 and it's adorable. So, you're going to need your vinyl, and I am using Oracal 651 vinyl, so it's permanent and it can get wet. Okay. So I have my design up on the screen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the design on the inside of the frame, not on the outside. If I was putting it on the outside of the frame, I could just put it into my machine and print it out. But since I'm going to put it on the back side, I need to cut it in a mirror. So you need to mirror your design. So when you go and hit make it, put your mat in, and where it says mirror, you're going to click it so it mirrors the image. I'm going to hit continue. Hit your C on your Cricut machine, and it's going to print out your design. I'll be back as soon as it's done printing. I'm back and my design is cut out and weeded, and it says coffee because it's too early for wine. Alright, so it is backwards. When I'm looking at it, I know it looks right in the lens, in the camera, but it is backwards so that when we put it on our design, it would read correctly. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is use my paper transfer, and it's important to use paper. You cannot use the plastic transfer tape, which is the one I use most often. But when you're doing a wet application, you need to use the paper transfer tape. Oops. Okay. Let me just fix my W here. Okay. All right, I'm a little off, but alright, so you're going to use your scraper and scrape on. I'm just going to cut off the excess on the side here with my blade because I'm a little off on the top and I have a few pieces sticking out a little. I just wanted to cover that with the transfer tape. Okay. So you get that on there. Give it a good varnishing. Alright, so you peel it off. Now, what you're going to do, like I said, this application fluid is just water with a little bit of Dawn detergent. And I'm just going to spray a little bit in there. What this wet application does If you tried to put this down without it being wet, what would happen is wherever you put it, that's basically where it's going to stay because it would stick. But with the wet application, you can move it around without it sticking. So you can see exactly where you want your design. So I think mine needs to be moved over a little bit more. So this gives you the opportunity to do that, where if you were using the normal application method, you would not be able to move it around. It is wherever it lands. Alright, so I think I'm happy with that. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip it back over, and what you want to do is scrape. You want to scrape the water out. And once you scrape it, then you take your paper towel and try to get it up. Because the only way this is going to stay is when the water is gone. Okay. Until that happens, this won't stick. So sometimes you got to just wait it out, wait for it to dry. I like to help it along by pushing the water out of it. But sometimes it's just a matter of time. Because if you try to lift this when it's wet, the letters are just going to come right off. They will not stick. So you just keep at it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit for like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll be right back. I'm back, and I left it on for about 10 minutes, and what I'm going to do is see if it's ready. So hopefully it is dried into place and we won't have any issues. Alright, so let's take a look. Okay, it's just coming up a little, nothing too bad. Just hold it down. You can use your application tool to assist you in holding it down. Still a little bit wet on the bottom. So there's definitely good and bad using this method. If you have time, just let it dry completely. You test a piece. If you see it coming up, just put it back down and let it dry. But for my purposes, I did brush it a little, I guess. So if you have a lot of time on your hands, this is an excellent method, because where you put it down doesn't mean where it has to stay. You have an option when it's wet to move it around, to center it, to fix whatever needs to be fixed. If we did this method without the wet application, you place this down on the glass and it's there. You make a mistake, you'll be ripping it up and starting all over again. This has definitely been something I've done a million times in the past. But with the wet method, that works easy. It just takes time. So this is the finished project. Like I said, it just takes a little bit more time when you use the wet method as opposed to putting it on, but you can move it around, and you know, if you have any mistakes, it's easily fixed. Like, just takes time. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Any comments, leave it below. Any questions, I'd love to answer them. Alright, that's it. Till next time, guys. See you around. Bye.